Sözü direkt olarak moderatörümüze bırakmak istiyorum. Sayın Ferzan Çelikkanat, Yatırım Genel Müdürü kendisi. Panelistlerinizi siz zaten çok yakından tanıyorsunuz. Siz davet etmek istersiniz belki Ferzan Bey, ne dersiniz?
Teşekkür ederim.
O zaman sahne sizin efendim.
In this panel there are very valuable representatives of international hotel chains. First of all, I would like to introduce Mr. Sandeep from Marriott, Mr. Mike Collini from Hilton's, Mr. Henry Simpson from Intercontinental Hotels, and Ramsey Rankosi from Radisson's, and Onur Kurç from Accor. Thank you. That's the hospitality, man. Thank you. Hello, everyone. I would like to tell in this panel, all of them are very expert in their field, and the people are who know Turkey and Turkish markets very well. As the Tourism Investors Associations, I would like to thank you for all of for accepting our invitations, and also we are here because of their sponsorship and their supports. Thank you for all for your sponsorships and support for these organizations. It's very valuable for us, and I'll be glad in the name of the Turkish Tourism Associations again. At the beginning, while I'm deciding the participants of the panel, I was thinking about the name and the title of the people would be. When I thought the titles of people who are participate in this panel, I realized that they were right people to tell us what is the international experience, what's happening, and what kind of change or transformations in the hotel industry. Because after the pandemic, the game changed and we learned lots of new things. The best people, we should listen with these gentlemen because they are on field and they are very close with the investors and owners. So that's why we would like to talk a little bit about the revolutions, or we call the evolutions, our experience in the investment decisions, guest habits, working models, and how they take a position in transformations with your brands. Onur, I would like to start with you. The Accor is one of the fast-growing brand in Turkey with your lots of brands. If you compare the before and after process for the pandemic period, what kind of change and the transformation do you observe in the investment models and the guest habits?
Thank you, Ferzan. First of all, really appreciate for organization and really thanks to be a huge chance to sponsorship for all. I believe that the pandemic is an issue, but before the pandemic, we really know the crisis management in Turkey. Because, you know, last 10 years, our owners really flexible and really strong know-how about the crisis management and crisis time investment. So when we compare the before pandemic and after, we can see the extended stay segment is quite strong now, and a lot of new demand, new requests for our brand for service apartments or extended stay. We create all segments this type of business. For instance, we have a Mövenpick living, which called extended stay, and branded residence also. So everybody wants to stay bigger rooms, and also luxury. Our luxury revenues really high because in 2 years, a lot of people postpone their holiday and their travel, and everybody wants to spend money. F&B revenues is also same. Our F&B revenue is total approximately 6 billion euro in 2019, and our budget is more than 6 billion in this year. So we are looking for the extended stay is really strong, transforming for us. And also all-inclusive, because the post-pandemic, everybody wants to stay huge hotels, big hotels, and nice concept. So Accor create, Yiğit mentioned that in morning, Accor creates the all-inclusive platform, and it's going well now with the Rixos joint venture. We create an all-inclusive department, and its pipeline is really strong now.
Okay. So Hilton has a very old history in our country. Mike has been in the market for many years, and he is one of us. He knows the Turkish market and Turkish peoples very well and very closely. He has a good relations with the investors. Hilton is one of the biggest chain in the market right now. Also, could you please share your own observations and about this transformation process with us? I mean, especially in the investment models, because the classical and classical investments, I think it will be changed with the new era, and also the like segmentations or the technological structures or physical conditions. What will happen?
There's a lot there. Thank you, Ferzan, and delighted to be back in Istanbul. And more importantly, it's great that you've put on such a wonderful event, and life really does feel as if it's back to normal after 2 tough years. Look, Turkey has been a very, very special market for Hilton. It's one of our important global markets. And when I say special, the Hilton Istanbul Bosphorus is the longest running international hotel outside of the US in continuous operation. So over 65 years. It really is an institution in Turkish hospitalities, and I know many of the operators here at some stage in their career been associated with that hotel. When we launched or when we started to grow our other brands 15 years ago, I mean, that presence really provided a great foundation. And we've since grown from 8 hotels in 2009, and we're on the verge of now breaking through the 100th hotel in Turkey, trading and under construction. So that phenomenal growth, I've been so lucky to have experienced some of that. I lived and worked here for 5 years. Having subsequently gone to Africa and now back in Europe and seeing Turkey from a slight distance, I really do think that there is still significant opportunity for Turkey to really continue to grow, enhance and diversify its tourism offering. So, we want to be a big part of that. That phenomenal growth we've seen in the past 15 years has really been with 2 core models. We operate hotels under a management agreement for owners and investors that invest capital. And we also license most of our brands under a franchise agreement. And that growth has been totally organic, and we believe those 2 models work very, very well for many investors. It allows us to focus on our investment in our brands and in our commercial platform to continue to deliver a premium performance. We're seeing changes caused by the pandemic. We're seeing trends. We're seeing a lot of focus now on conversion opportunities. New build construction is more challenging with finance, with supply chain issues, and with inflation, etc. But we've introduced several conversion brands which allow independent owners to convert, retain their identity, but benefit from our commercial platform.
So you mean we'll see the conversions properties much more than instead of the new
That's
developments?
a current trend.
Yeah.
That's a current trend. What we've also done is we've recognized some of the changes brought by the pandemic in terms of extended stay has been quite a talked about segment. when we have extended stay brands in the US, we've decided not to bring a dedicated brand in, but we're incorporating an extended stay element within our brands. So for example, Hilton Garden Inn and Hampton by Hilton, two extremely successful focus service hotels. We're now incorporating an element of extended stay by incorporating a two-bay suite within that. And we believe that's the right approach to build on really successful brands to capture some short-term and long-term demand.
Okay. Thank you, Mike. We need your experience a little bit more after. So, Henry, if we compare with the other brands, I understand you are starting to smiling, but IHG is slightly behind the Turkish markets. So I hope after you, what we will see in the Turkish markets with your brands. I mean, investors in Turkey still have some hesitations about the handing over the keys to brand after making all the investments. They are not feel too much comfortable, especially on the management agreements. But could you please explain about what is the benefits and what is the advantage of the working with the brands, and what is your Turkish market pipelines on your side?
Many questions. Well, what is it about a brand and where are we with IG? Well, thank you. Very interesting question. Well, if there's one thing we can show you is all the brands are here, so we're definitely interested all in the Turkish market, and that is a real I love you to Turkey. I mean, IG is a company that is one of the big ones. We have 6,000 hotels across the world. It's an Anglo-Saxon company based in England and in America, so we have that double identity. And I must say that question I do get not only in Turkey, and that's a question that excites me, because it's always about demonstrating how we can do differently, better, whatever. And IG is a company that takes their owners very seriously and tries to understand what's the better value. So right now in Turkey, we have 26 hotels. We have had them for quite a while. We have three strong brands: Holiday Inn, Crown Plaza, and Intercontinental. These are the three brands that are well known in Turkey. And we have a few more, not many more, but we do have a few more brands. And that is a strategy that we have really wanted to redevelop in Turkey. You are right, we have not been always present. We have had that development quite a while ago. Then we have disappeared. And then we have come back quite a few years ago. So first of all, Nielsen, who is our director for development, has been there for a couple of years. We've been working, and I joined the Turkish market in March 2020, so that was the best time to come along.
You are in the right place to find the new investors or owners. That's why we are here.
Exactly. And we've been working a lot along the way. We have been hiring people. We've been looking at how we can support best the market. But to your second question, let me grab the question about what do we bring as a brand. I'll focus on three parts. I'll talk about safety, which is a new one because that's not the one we would put at first initially. I'll talk about distribution, obviously, and experience. Safety. What happened is with the pandemic is that suddenly people understood that that was important, more important than many other things. We live in a branded world, so brands are important, but suddenly the notion of brand, which is not only all about I love that brand because of the color, because of what it brings to me, it was also because it reassures me. And you must know that brands, like all of our brands, we do something very well. It's called training. What we do is we bring a lot of training to all our hotels. Constantly, we keep them, we teach all our hotels how to welcome a guest, how to do the cleanliness and so on. But when it came down to the pandemic, we had all the communication channels ready to bring all that information and deal with hotels. And that's something I believe we did well during the pandemic, and that's something that reassured all our final guests. And that's something that a brand gives, is the fact that its process saves lives in a way. process is really something that became really important. Second part is distribution. Obviously, distribution is key. Is in exchange of the fees, what do we bring? What is we bring on the table? I heard earlier on that gentleman talking about the airport was the gateway to the skies. Well, we brands are exactly the gateways to international business. We bring the members, we bring the clients. We have 140 million reward members. That means we have 140 million people who look at the website, who look at the app, and look, Istanbul, Intercon, oh, okay, I'll go there. Crown Plaza, yeah, I'll go there. And we are a gateway, and that's what we bring, and obviously it's value to the owner because it's without OTAs, so we do save a couple of percentages on that part. And finally, experience. We live in a world where everybody wants that and that. They want safety, but they want to be crazy. They want the adventure, but they also want to be reassured. In fact, that's where we, IG, had to do a journey. We were known for being quite business, urban orientated, and Turkey shows that. And we have been going through a journey, just started before the pandemic, but we wanted to go, is to go more leisure, more experience, more lifestyle, and more sustainable. So we've developed two specific brands, conversion brands. One is Voco, which means welcome in Latin. And Turkey has a great history with Latin and Roman constructions. And Voco is the equivalent of Crown Plaza. It's an upscale brand where we sort of, it's a soft branding where we bring all our distribution, we bring all our ways of working, but we don't impose design as we would do in other brands. And Vignette Collection, a bit the same, but in the luxury area, where we bring that softened brand. So we don't have that many brands. In total, we have 16 across the world, but we've created these two specifically to come to destinations like Turkey, where there are resorts, there are places where we come and create the destination with the local owners, bring a soft brand that will enable them to keep the identity of their hotels, but bring our distribution. So in the end, we're ready for business as an IG in Turkey. We have set up our teams. We've just hired a design director. We're hiring some more development, and we really want to go in these areas. We have not been all the same as good as we should have been.
So mainly, if I'm not wrong, you would like to get in grow with the franchise agreements, or?
In fact, we have a very simple way of looking at it. Is luxury is more managed, and upscale, mid-scale is more franchise. So in the middle, we have a fine line where we can franchise or manage following the desires of the owners. We're mainly franchise as such throughout the business because we go from mid-scale to luxury, and the number of hotels are more in the mid-scale and upscale space. But we franchise more than we manage.
In all big brands, they are very, nervous about the all-inclusives. Do you have any plan in the luxury leisures in the all-inclusive? Because the Marriott is make some preparations about getting these segments. I will ask the Sandeep, but is this the kind of the select service, or with the all-inclusive?
So I like the word nervous. It's very Anglo-Saxon to say we're comfortable or we're not comfortable, and it's always a way of addressing topics. We are an industry where we big brands have a lot to fear about our consistency, about all the different areas. We don't want to make mistakes because mistakes cost a lot. We are definitely exploring that at the moment. We have exceptions where we've already done it. It seems to be working, and we want to go ahead. So we're not quite at Accor pace right now. We're not going full speed, but we're definitely open to it. And we know that in Turkey there are all-inclusive only destinations. We will be there. We will do that.
Okay, perfect. Sandeep, you did a great job in Ataköy, JW Marriott. First of all, I would like to congratulate the new brands, and it's very nice buildings, very nice property.
Thank you.
I hope it will be successful in a long term. The pre-pandemic period, that was the scene of major mergers, as we know. The Chinese markets, they jumped to the European brands, and some of the European brands make some merges. And the Marriott realized one of the most influential and the big ones. First of all, especially with the merge, after the merge, and what kind of transformations and change has occurred in Marriott, as well as incorporated many world-leading brands under your roofs. So, what kind of change for these big, huge brands, and what is the Marriott will go on with these brands? What's your forecast?
Sure, thank you. I think I'd like to start by, of course, thanking you for anchoring this conversation, but also thank everybody in the room and all our investors, because if it was not for our ownerships and our investors, I don't think most of us would be sitting here on this panel and talking to all of you. So a big thank you to you. Marriott International, with all your support, we just celebrated our 8,000th hotel in the US. We have 30 brands today. And we also actually recently celebrated our 1,000th hotel in Europe, Middle East, and Africa. I think this pandemic has, one, changed a few things, but on the other side, it has also strengthened a lot of things. It's just made a few things get more firmer. I think one of your previous questions was what has changed and what are the trends we are saying. So I'll take the liberty of starting from there, but I think the top three things we've seen is, one, I think it's already been spoken about enough, it's leisure. I think leisure and luxury really came back strongly. Everybody, there's a strong pent-up demand. We are seeing rates which are well above 2019, especially in the luxury space, in the leisure space. And the good thing is it's creating a bit of a waterfall effect with the secondary premium brands as well. So not only in the Ritz-Carlton or St. Regis or Luxury Collection or W, but also in Sheraton and Marriott and the second layer of premium brands, one is started to see the rates come back. And the same is trickling down to the select brands as well. Mm-hmm. Select brands, yes, will take time because of the business travel and the rates being in local currency, especially places like Turkey. We were just talking about it.
Yeah.
I think the second trend we have clearly seen is a lot of mix of work and leisure. We call it leisure, or we call it workation, however we call it. And I think I'm not repeating or I'm not stating something which is new. I think we've all heard it, but it's just growing at a speed where it is here to stay with us. And that certainly will reflect when I answer your question of what are the different things we are seeing. But we are finding more people travel with family, be on business, yet get some time for the family. We're seeing that in business hotels, people are asking where is the spa and where is the recreation facilities. And in resorts, people are more and more looking at the Wi-Fi speed not being fast enough or other way around. So I think what I'm trying to say is that this trend is here to stay and continue from a leisure perspective. And I think the third is, let me treat myself. I've been locked up in a room. I haven't traveled much. Now I want to get out. I'm ready to pay more. But I wanted that extra money. I'm ready to pay for suites. I'm ready to pay a bit more on the spa treatments. One of my colleagues mentioned on food and beverage. That food and beverage spend has also increased. So I think these are the top three trends we are seeing. And now it, of course, reflects on our business as well, for obvious reasons. In terms of growth, we're looking at conversions. And I think the brand brings a lot in it. We have three big conversion brands. We have the Luxury Collection, which has been there for a long time. We have the Autograph Collection, and we also have the Tribute in three different luxury, premium, and select. And why we're seeing people sign up more for conversions is the fact that it's Marriott Bonvoy. It brings a booking engine which have millions of members behind it. I mean, if you had to ask me a number, we are today a little over 162 million Bonvoy members. That's
So
more than
it means lots of guest experience.
Lots of guest experience, a lot of guest history, a lot of guest data, a lot of loyalty. A lot of people, when an owner converts a hotel from non-branded to a Marriott, whether it's luxury, one of the bucket brands or any other brand, you suddenly have, if nothing else, the booking engine, but you have 162 million loyal members that are seeing your property as well. So I think there's a huge booking engine behind these conversions which we can have. So conversion is a big part of it. The second, we have started to see a lot, and this is COVID I wish I could say it's pre-COVID. It's not fully over, though it feels now that it is in this room, but is something we have seen is branded residences. And we always had branded residences where people could go and buy. We had Ritz-Carlton residences, St. Regis residences, but what we have got into the business model is of residences without a hotel. We recently opened the Ritz-Carlton residences in Bodrum. It's on a separate island. It doesn't have a hotel. It's purely a Ritz-Carlton branded residences, and the sale is going very well. In Dubai, we recently, Q1, we launched Ritz-Carlton residences, St. Regis residences with Emaar, and W residences. So the branded residences is a business we are seeing, and a lot of ownerships want to get into it because the return is slightly faster than when it is hotels, which takes a bit of a longer time. And the third is certainly another one which we are seeing is the extended stay. And we recently opened the residence in Turkey as well. And we're seeing through Marriott executive apartments or residence inn that people are moving from apartments or their homes into a branded extended stay because they don't need to worry about the cleanliness, the hygiene, the looking after of the place. They pay a monthly bill and everything is taken care of. So we're seeing that. And of course, the top up of all that is our luxury brands that are truly doing well. And we see a lot of our ownerships tying up with us for these brands, be it Bulgari, Ritz-Carlton, St. Regis, JW, Luxury Collection, or even the Ritz-Carlton Reserve, which we hope to get to Turkey very soon.
So you means we will see the branded residence much more in the Turkish markets? Is it possible to say that?
Yes, it is. This business model actually started more in the US. That's where it has been. I mean, if you go to Miami today, there are multiple branded residence projects in Florida or other parts of the US. This was then followed by the same kind of moving to a bit of the Asian markets. Our first independent Ritz-Carlton residence was in Singapore, which is not attached to a hotel. But now we've started to see this come into the Middle East market. We started to see this coming into Egypt. And to answer your question, absolutely yes. We'll see much more of this coming to Turkey as well.
This is new things. This is new things for us. So, Ramsey, we want to listen from you. Radisson is well-established and well-known brand in Turkey. So, as you know, there are different brands and investors models in the world. I would like to delve into these issues a little bit on your sides. Why are the many international brands still not introducing the different models of agreements? We are very stuck with the franchise and the management, as everybody wants to on your sides. Is there any transformations expected in the business models? Do you think what will happen in the primarily in the world or specifically in Turkey? We'll see the different contract models in the market?
Look, I think probably the right answer would be no.
By the way, I'm looking at Ömer İsvan. Maybe he will give some tips to me.
No, look, I think the right answer would be probably not. And I think because that has been the foundation of all of our brands, which is asset light, meaning mostly manage a franchise. But I think one of the things that has been mentioned by all of us today, and I think it's a trend, but I think it'll be nice to put some context, is two trends coming, and especially in Turkey today. Conversion is one, and service apartment. But why is that? Conversion is very much linked to the macroeconomic condition of Turkey. If you look at it, inflation rate is certainly a risk that we need to take in consideration. There is certainly a devaluation of the currency, which all of this added together makes an investment in new build much longer term and much more risky at this stage. So all of us have obviously accelerated in regards to what the owner and the investment community is expecting today, which is investment solution, quick win, and that is conversion mainly. And that has been in the context of today economic condition in Turkey. Service apartment, you need to look at it from a consumer point. Who is one of the largest consumer these days coming? Obviously, it was always the Western world. These days is much more the GCC. And those GCC Arabs travel to come for what? Air implants. I probably need one, but I mean, that is a separate conversation. But those guys tend to stay much longer. Family tend to stay much longer. So you see now a trend of your consumer, which obviously are expecting longer term and extended stay. And putting this into the business model, we all have been speaking about segmentation. Business model, I think for us, what we have established because of COVID, and to the question of COVID itself, we launched a new brand which was called Radisson Individual. And that Radisson Individual is a franchise model, but on even short-term and more flexible condition. So you wouldn't really see an evolution of going into lease, if that's your questions, or any guarantee mechanism. I don't think any of us today will do that. We will continue, I think, and I think franchise for us has taken a bigger share into our business than it used to be. I think today we have, almost 50 hotels in Turkey, but our strategy was very much Istanbul driven. So if you look at Istanbul today, 50% of our portfolio isn't actually in Istanbul, and I think today Radisson Blu is probably one of the largest upscale brands in Istanbul. But that has been established for us to create a critical mass. That critical mass then obviously can support us servicing franchise better, and we see today most likely most of our portfolio going into franchise. Obviously, we're not into the luxury segment like my peers from right and left, but we certainly continue our growth through franchise. So I don't think there will be an evolution, but I think what owners look today is they're much more educated. If you look, Turkey today is one of these very few markets where there are a lot of consultants, very established hoteliers that have been going through their own career, which often advise either on the asset management side or either on purely owner representation. And I think what has come into the business model, it doesn't change, but you start becoming much more transparent. You start establishing, point of transparency into the agreement. Being manager or franchise doesn't matter. So I think that's what we have been establishing, really a relationship of open-minded dialogue, trying to understand what the owners community is looking at, and then what can we establish to provide those triggers.
Do you have any plan to join the game on the leisure sides?
Yeah, look, so as I told you, it has been always historically our strategy for Turkey was very much Istanbul, and Istanbul today is still our core focus. And I think we need to also put this back in consideration to the rate of Turkey because of devaluation of the currency itself and inflation. Istanbul, Bodrum, Izmir are some key cities that can still sell in Europe, but any secondary city that you look today is much more Turkish lira driven, and that creates some sort of a vacuum in the ability to absorb the cost of an operation. So for us, I think Antalya is a city which we would like to enter. We obviously are present in Bodrum. We introduced our first Radisson collection, which is our luxury level in Bodrum last year. I think we certainly want to diversify in Antalya. I think that would be one of the cities where we would want to diversify. I think some other key destination on the leisure side. We have opened our first ski resort in Agios last year also in December, which is literally at the bottom of the slope. So I think for us, we see a trend of leisure, certainly, but I think, as I told you, conversion has been a big trend for us. Radisson Individual, we just opened our first one in Istanbul last month, and actually we've already signed 7 hotels in this first quarter on the Radisson Individual. So you really see, and those are really plug-and-play solution, meaning that you just have fire life and safety and IT integration, but that gives independent existing identity, joining a network, to the strengths of what Henry was mentioning. Why a brand? This is consumer confidence, this is creating a label of distribution, but also supporting owners. And one of the elements which I think Turkey is not known for, 75% of the hotel supply in Turkey is actually independent. It's not branded. So when you look again, the topic of conversion is because you have such a portfolio of existing supply in Turkey, which is not accessing, international distribution. I think that's why all of us today are trying to justify the fact that yes, there is a strong potential.
Good, good. Mike, actually everybody's areas are very curious about there's a long history, but when we will see, you think, the brands make the investment, direct investment in the market. So what should be the conditions to get that kind of decisions? Because we know in the European markets there's lots of lease agreements. Okay, we are a little bit getting some key monies on the brand side. I'm talking about the general, not specifically Hilton maybe. If you can share your experience, I'll be glad. What we should do, what kind of conditions can be ready on the market to get the risk on the Turkish markets or in the local markets?
That phenomenal growth I spoke about earlier was predominantly with 2 key models, the management agreement and the franchise. And I think that they're very much here to stay. We moved away we moved towards an asset light, a real estate free model, like most of the international brands here today. we focus, we invest in our brands, we invest in our commercial platform. That's where we do what we do best. And that's where I think the focus is going to be. I think the lease model you mentioned, we have some legacy leases here in Turkey. We moved away from that. I think the lease model generally has been really tested because of the pandemic. And I think, you know, there's been a lot of, you know, fallout, particularly in some of the more established markets where leases are inherent, like Germany, like the Nordics, South Africa. There are the strong institutions, and really the only model is a lease there. Many operators have fallen by. The stronger ones have survived, but I think that lease model has been generally tested in the pandemic. And it's all about an allocation of risk. I think coming back to Turkey, you know, the management agreement is very well understood. I think it's a very fair portion of responsibilities. Many owners and investors are now well advised. There's a lot of good consultants and asset managers, and we see that model here to stay. We also see franchising growing generally, and it's been really at the core of our success in Europe to really grow our brands, particularly the focus service brands. That's been naturally successful in Turkey. You know, a nation of natural entrepreneurs who really want to be in control of their business, and that really works well. The focus service, we will license, you know, some of our full service brands, but it's all about having an experienced operator, and we're seeing experienced management companies grow. What we're not seeing yet are owner operators. They're establishing themselves very strongly in Western Europe, and I think it's a matter of time before that model comes into to Turkey. So if there is an urgent or a necessity for a lease, we would work with one of our owner operators or one of our operator partners that are prepared to take that risk. But I do see the core two models continuing in Turkey.
Do you have any advice? What should happen on the market? What should be what kind of conditions it should be ready?
Well, I think it has to work for an owner and it has to work for us, and we're flexible in that sense. You know, a large conference, a large airport hotel, we are really good at driving value long term if we operate that hotel on behalf of an owner. And then we get into contract conditions that, you know, take you down a different level. We're flexible with our franchises. The term manchise has been used a bit more often now.
I like that word. It's very important.
I'm sure if you ask everyone in this room, there's a different interpretation. But what we would happily do is to consider a flip from a managed to a franchise with an owner after a period of time if there's a genuine intent that they want to structure a hotel business, and we're open to doing that.
Thank you. I mean, I would like to talk a little bit about the digital transformation. I know the Marriott is very care about the digitalizations, and when it comes to because where do you think we are in the digital transformations, do you think? And especially because you have a very operational backgrounds and you have lots of experience on field. And what is the digital transformation hotel operation and where we are headed? I mean, what the Marriott make about that?
Yeah, I think for us, digitalization is an important piece, and this whole pandemic has made it even more stronger for us to focus on it. If you take an example of the fact that, you know, we were just talking about 162 million Marriott Bonvoy members, they could actually be going on their app, booking the hotel room, their credit card details are there, you book the room, you check in there, and your phone becomes your key card. So from the booking or search to booking to the whole journey till the end, till checkout, where you can just check out and get charged to your card, it can be done on the one app. And I think that contact light model of operations has only exceeded. I mean, today, if you look at this part of the world, Europe, Middle East, and Africa, about 70% of our hotels with ownerships, investments, and partnership, we have been able to move to the fact that you can do this. We have from our side, you previously asked, where are the operators putting in money? So we're putting in money in our new office that opens in Bethesda in this summer. One full section would be something called the Marriott Design Lab, where the whole idea of everybody on that floor will be only about focusing on innovation. And innovation in the sense that wouldn't be great that we knew that the bulb in the room is going to fuse tomorrow, and we're already taking care of it. Wouldn't it be great if I knew that you're checking in and this is the temperature you like your room and this is the music you like, and you're a Marriott Bonvoy member and it's all recorded, and then when you check in, when you walk into your room, that's how you find the room. So those are the different experiments we kind of will be doing in the Marriott Lab, which opens in this summer, to continue this focus in the future. I'm not too much into NFTs, but yes, Marriott is the first.
It's on my mind. Will you accept the payment with Bitcoins or whatever? Are they work on it?
No, we did, we were the first hospitality company to start the first NFT in December. We did the first launch of it. I think for us, Marriott Bonvoy points itself as a currency. You can buy, you can upgrade, you can buy experiences. But if I may for a minute go just the other way around of your question, I think we can't forget this for sure. I mean, we have Marriott, we have very few leases. It's dominantly a managed business. So we as Marriott, all we own is brands. We own 30 brands. And brands is brought to life by people. I mean, end of the day, otherwise it would be just a logo. It's brought by, if today we are here at Mandarin Oriental and we have a great experience, we're going to say Mandarin is a great company, great brand. And I'm sure it wouldn't happen, but if you didn't, you would say Marriott is okay. It's the same for each of our 30 brands. But it's people who bring it to life. So I think that human connect and that importance of people can't be taken away. So while we are focusing on digitalization, all kind of things on digital apps, I think equally important is to focus on people and the quality of service, because that's going to make a company or a brand a winner or a loser. It's going to be, that basis needs to be there, but it's the people and the service and the human connect which would be here to stay. I think we talk about leisure a lot. I am convinced that business travel will come back to the way it was, because there is no way else to connect with people the way you can connect when you're face to face via versus a Zoom or a Teams call. I think so. It could take longer, and it will take longer than leisure, but it is going to come back. I'm convinced. So the human piece is equally important than technology. So I think that shouldn't be forgotten either.
Yeah. There's lots of new things we'll be getting in our life, so we'll see how it's adapted. Henry, actually, I would like to ask the same thing to you. I mean, on your brand sides, what are you doing about the digitalizations and how you adapted these new changes, the QR code readers, keyless rooms, or without humans, check-in, check-out? So how you manage it?
Well, not without humans. The human part is so important to our industry, as Sandeep said. Well, we have a lot in common, obviously, in the different brands, and definitely Marriott and IG have a lot in that area. In fact, we're not a tech company. Digitalization is a tool within our business. So we are, and once again, the crisis shown that with humans, you could sort out situations. With tools, you cannot always. But COVID also shown that people wanted to be able to connect with their future experience through their phone. So in fact, we had to accelerate our journey to digitalization so hard, because now anybody looks at a website to understand what's going to happen to them in their travel, in their work, in whatever. And that is not only certain generations, now that has spread out to everybody. I mean, now you pay your tax on internet. Everybody has to go. It's not anymore something that is good to have. It's compulsory. And so in that matter, we had to accelerate, and we have something a little specific, is we have a platform called Concerto that we've developed in-house because for data privacy reasons, we've developed everything in-house so that we could protect our guests and owners' data. And that is really, really important, because with that platform, what we do is we have started connecting all the dots between the first experience from the owner, from the guest, sorry, from his phone until the reservation. And obviously now we have started tailoring the experience. As we were saying, having the music, as you were saying, that's something we would like to go to. But first is just the price tag. How do I define my room? I'm not only looking basic room, suite junior, suite, and presidential. It's can I have a room with a view on the Bosphorus or on the Tower Eiffel in Paris or whatever destination, close or far from the lift, and so on. So you tailor your room, and then the price comes along with it. And as a guest, you can start really, like in a plane, like in any other places where you're used to that, start creating your own experience. And that can go to resorts, saying, okay, I would like that experience with the pool, sort of make my journey with the spa and with the different activities for the kids and so on and so forth. So that is the tools we are working on to be able to have our guests think, okay, I'm really anticipating every single bit of my journey. And just to add on that one, the whole point of all that is also to go to marketing and having that experience in the room. So that means doing all the inventories locally with the hotels means that when we go to marketing, when we go to other markets, say the US, say Southern America, or I don't know, the Nordics, and we talk about Turkey, look, in Bodrum, we have a lovely hotel, you can book it. And we're going to start knowing what the trends of needs are from people from the Nordics. They will want specific things, which people from Southern America will want different things. And we will be able to tell our hotel, look, you should orientate, given you have more people from that area, you should market your hotel slightly differently. You'll make better value, have better clients who will also stay longer and pay more. And that's what the digitalization is all about. It's how we sort of better market, better sort of tailor the experience of our guests.
Perfect. Onur, I'm sure that you have heard and answered lots of times, but the Akkor is very powerful on the, I know, on the field. So could you a little bit explain about how you make the communications with the investors and how you manage the on-field operations with your team in Turkey? I mean, especially what kind of communication you follow with the investors?
Yeah, ownership relationship is one of the most important thing for us. We believe that they can reach easily to us. So it consists of sum of points. For instance, legal side. We decided to continue with 10 years before to continue with Turkish language contract, management and franchise contract. Now we are using Turkish law and Turkish language in our contract in Turkey. And also we have a strong head office capability because we signed a strategic partnership agreement with Akfen Real Estate Investment Trust in 2005. And we have 15 hotels under lease agreement with them. So the all employee is under Akkor legal entity on 15 hotels. So in our head office in lease hotels, approximately 60 people. They can provide some services to other franchise owner. And also we have another head office in Levent, in Istanbul. It's approximately 30 people. So the important thing to easily connection with the owners. The owner, for instance, in management contract owner can follow the hotel's daily operation in an app. It's called Max. The owner has an account at there and he can reach easily daily operation points, the occupancy, revenue, the details of that. In the franchise side, in last year we completed an a la carte menu for the owners because we have a head office and we have a really strong human resources in here. We can service the franchise owner for HR services, for training service, sales support service, also technical service, some of points. We call the steroid support.
What?
Steroid supported services. So, you know, the Turkish market is 80% is franchise driven now. So we need to improve their performance, and it's important to us because we are giving the brand. We are not a signage company. We are creating a partnership with the owner, franchise or management. It doesn't matter for us. And we always supporting the owners on the field now. And also our all team members can speak Turkish well. So in operation side also, in F&B side, we can support all team. Let me give an example. We opened a nice M Gallery hotel at Bodrum under franchise agreement. And in this season, the owner decided to continue with management agreement with them because we gave a lot of services to support services with the franchise agreement with them. And they want to continue under management agreement with us. So the most important thing, I believe, after sales services in Turkey, for operational side and all side, on sales, training, procurement also, it's one of the important things for us also.
Yeah, there's the owner's headaches after spend lots of money. All expectations is the make the return as soon as possible. I mean, so the brand has big headaches or has a big responsibilities to give that kind of services because especially during these periods, the investments is huge cost of the owners, and so as I am one of the owners of the brands, and after the build the hotels, we give the keys and we are expecting the sales and the marketing support as soon as possible. Actually, I would like to ask the same question to you, Ramsey. I mean, what kind of support for the Radissons on local market? Why I'm asking, actually, I would like to tell a little bit about that, because the owner side or the investor side, how they feel they are secure, or after the investments period, what kind of service they will get in, and could you please a little bit explain about your brand support on field?
Sure. I mean, I think, look, historically, I think the strength of Radisson has been on two main points. One is responsiveness, and two is solution-driven, meaning that at any point of time, we tend not to take a by-the-book approach, but we tend to take an approach which is pragmatic and really solution-driven, whatever the problem is. Being construction cost, I mean, in general, the Radisson brand at comparable level, we're probably 20% cheaper in construction costs with the same pricing abilities. And that is because we put a lot of value engineering. Now, in the relationship base, as I told you, transparency is probably one of the most important. And what we have realized is that constant communication with owners is essential, regardless of the business model. They are partners and they need to be constantly fed in terms of information of what you're doing, in terms of what initiatives you have from marketing to commercial, but also during pandemic, what was the initiative that we all took? And we all took on this table today different initiative. And that was essential in terms of survival, of cash flow, and what can we do to go through this as partners. So I think that's one essential part. I think for us, historically, when you look at Radisson's presence in Turkey, we always had a commercials and sales office here, so we always had this presence. But I think what we've realized as we grew, and I'm an example of it, I'm actually based in Dubai, I'm not based in Turkey, we realized that we reached now a critical mass. And as I mentioned to you, the critical mass now is we have over 50 hotels in Turkey, and that has justified much more investment. And that has justified now us growing the team. So now we have obviously appointed few individuals, as we all mentioned, from commercial to procurement, but also now dedicated even individual to franchise services, because franchise services is the biggest component of growth today, and you need to have a face-to-face. But also because Turkey is slightly different than other cultures. They want to have a one-on-one face meeting. They want you to see them and come and see them. So we have decided that, yes, our business model now has reached a critical mass that justifies much more resources locally. So now we're deploying much more investment locally so that we can serve better, because the biggest risk in growth, and you will see this historically in any brands, regardless where, is if you grow too fast and you don't have the foundation to support, then eventually you're going to actually go down. You're going to slow down, or you're going to actually lose properties. And that's something we don't want to do. So for us to achieve our promises, because we can all promise a lot of things to owners, we need to deliver that promises, and that is through the people, to the point of all my colleagues today.
Thank you. I mean, we are a little bit out of our times. I would like to talk lots of things, but it's very limited. Do you have any some last words before close the panels, because you come from the long ways? If you have a last words, I'll be glad to get it.
Thank
Yeah,
you.
I would love to just take the opportunity and thank, I was mentioning earlier, I think people make all the difference, and we have a team here. We are big in our development team. We have an office that we're setting up in Turkey next month, a new office to be based in Turkey to show the importance we have for this market. And all the general managers at the hotels, whether it's managed or franchise, because I think end of the day, they make all the difference. And they're the ones who make the engagement with the guests and bring more guests in, and then the owners are happy, as we were saying. So absolutely a big thank you to all the GMs in the city.
Thank you.
We're approaching 100 hotels in Turkey. I think we're still at the very start. I'm very encouraged about the event here today, the future of tourism and the potential for Turkey. And I really do believe, you know, there is huge opportunity going forward for all of us.
With your support, thank you for all.
Well, you were mentioning that owners needed to be reassured by IG. We're back. We're really here to take care of these hotels. We have 25 today. We want many more tomorrow. We have the team. Come and see us at our stand. We have the people. And we would be really, really happy to have these discussions with you.
Henry, if you want to get in the market
Yes?
very strongly, you will be the main sponsor to TIF for the next year, okay?
Okay, can think about
You
it.
see the Accor, they are booming, so it's your time.
You see, brands are important.
Okay. Yeah, Ramsey?
No, I mean, I think, you know, Turkey has always been famous for summer seasons, and I can only wish a very strong summer season to everyone today. I think, you know, Turkey, and I think Onur was mentioning, I think Turkey is an example of resilience, and this country has been resilient across so many different events, being macroeconomic condition, political, but even today to pandemic. And I think I give a big hats off and respect to this country for constantly rebounding, and we are pleased to be part of this journey. So congratulations to you.
Thank you. Onur?
And really thank you for this type of organization. Accor really believed in Turkey, as always. And also, it's Rixos joint venture, it's an indication. And also, we have 15 lease hotel, it's an indication. So, we will continue to grow in Turkey with...
Thank you for your sponsorship for this night. Accor will be the sponsor of our dinner today in the Swiss hotels. We are very glad to see all of them in there. And also, it's a special thanks for the
special
support.
thanks to you. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Evet, Ferzan Bey çok teşekkür ediyoruz. Sağ olunuz efendim. Çok çok teşekkür ediyoruz. Değerli panelistlerimize de çok teşekkür ediyoruz.